Welcome to another scene setting Rage Across the Amazon, as Jacob has just returned from a cavern that was coned off, so to speak, by quite a lot of Garu, actually, including the Battlemaster, as court was very much in session, part of his Fostern challenge, and has I should not have introed this. Jacob Jacob is turning from the beginning of his Fostern challenge. The first part of the trial, gathering information, gathering intel, investigation, making a case. And he's come out of this cavern with about half a dozen Garu just staring at him, asking him questions, including those in his pack. So he's got voices in his ears as well as in his head. And really has just been responding with, I can't tell you that, not at liberty to say. No, not within my rights. I apologize. And to his best efforts, tries to escape into the Umbra, not really wanting to answer a bunch of questions, and the fact that he has to save effectively someone from the litany, and is more focused on sorting through his information, sorting through what's in his head, clearing it so that he can make an argument. And as he wanders through this ever-shifting landscape that is the Umbra of the Amazon, he ends up finding himself on the borders, more sparsely populated, away from everyone else. But interestingly, still does not find himself alone.
No, there is a pond at the like a couple of steps away from the actual border of Sept, in the Umbra, and at the edge of the pond there is a tiny Wendigo cub sitting. She is a water spirit that's usually kind of clenched, half sitting on her lap, half clenching her leg, and she has her feet in the water. She seems a little shaken, but she's also seems to be soothing the water spirit that seems very much not at ease, distraught. She'll look up as Jacob approaches, and she won't let go of the water spirit like the times before when she just pushed it back into the water. She actually keeps holding it, kind of toying with its tail as she just falls on her back and shows her throat. Yeah, there you are. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm back again. Sorry about that.
Okay,
that
cool.
was a network problem that actually had nothing to do.
It happens. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just...
yeah, Latina showing throat to you.
Oh, that's fine. Not exactly her own official business.
She sits back up. Your rank is not official or unofficial it is. She has only one success on her perception empathy. Something. Do you need some quiet? I think you're muted. I don't know if you're here again. We having technical difficulties. And since this is taking forever, and clearly our Philodox is in need of some proper restarting, um, Plantine is working on telling some stories to water spirits as she promised. And the story that she's telling at this point is actually a story of water spirits themselves. It's called Water Spirits Gifts of Horses, and it's a legend from, well, not necessarily her tribe, but definitely other Native American tribes. The story goes as follows. In the days before horses, a poor orphan boy lived among the Blackfoot. Because he was so poor, he knew that he could never obtain the things he wanted without the secret power of the gods. One day, he left his camp to seek a vision that would tell him what he must do. He slept alone on a high mountain. He prayed near some great rocks. He fasted beside a river, but no vision came to him, no voice spoke to him. He traveled beyond the sweet grass hills to a large lake, and because no signs of any kind had come to him, he bowed down and wept. In that lake lived a powerful water spirit, a very old man, and he heard the crying of the poor orphan boy. The water spirit sent his young son to find the boy and ask why he was crying. The son went to that and suddenly my sound is not working anymore. I think now I have sound again. Yes, I have sound. Hello. Also have you.
Hello. Can I talk?
Yes, I can hear you.
God.
I just started telling a story to the water spirit. So, but she'll interrupt that story when Jacob comes near, as she did before. And after sharing Stroud, she looks at him a little surprised because not a lot of people come to this little niche in the Umbra. And noticing that he seems upset, which is as much as you could see with one success on her perception empathy, she cocks her head aside, frowns, and did you come here for peace, or is something bothering you?
Bit of both, I suppose.
Hmm. Well, the water is cooler than the air, so if you want to, I will leave you.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's just I came out of that bloody cavern and then half a fucking sept was waiting for me.
I see. That was you.
Yeah.
The spirits were. They seemed scared to go near that place. I can understand that you need some time to think.
I'm not really allowed to talk too much about it, but there's a lot on the line.
Well,
Um,
come sit then.
Thanks. You'll sit down. He's like he was when you see him, you notice that he was carrying notes. Like, a lot of them, in fact. It's not just a little notepad. It doesn't look like it, but it looks like there's a small... It doesn't look like an essay, but you could be potentially fooled considering how much was written down.
She'll look at the stack of papers like, is your head as full as the papers?
Yeah, no. That's there so I don't forget anything that I wrote down.
So the papers contain what your head cannot.
Yeah, or might lose. I can't really afford to get a detail wrong, so best to write it all down so I can't forget. I'm confident I can pull something off. Hmm. But the nation travels in strange directions sometimes.
That can be said of many things, not just a nation.
Hmm.
Is there anything that I can do for you?
Hmm. I mean, you being here is enough, really. But, I mean, I guess I could bounce thoughts off you if you want.
If you think it'll help, I have little knowledge of anything outside, well, the daily ins and outs of a sept, but you can try me.
Thanks. How would you handle uh, a Garu that couldn't walk or was maybe deaf? So something that can't be fixed.
Mm, that would depend, I think. How much? I think it would depend on how much they still can do. I mean, she actually holds up her hand. This is as much a problem as not having hands sometimes. Many of those with mine or similar afflictions are sometimes not able to fulfill the tasks as Hamid or Lupus would do. It's sometimes a trick to not just look at what can't be done, but to look at what can be done. I will never be someone who can build a snare very well. But I won't go hungry because I can fish more easily than those without hands like mine.
Mm.
someone without legs. If they would need to run, they would need to be left behind, because they will form a burden. But until that point, he or she would still have knowledge and could still do things in the sept, teaching cubs, teaching others, setting snares. There are still things that they can do because they have arms, they have a head, a heart, a tongue, eyes, ears, a nose. It's just when they run, they will not survive. Right?
Yeah.
Are you having problems with the litany?
I think I've had problems with it for a long time, to be honest. I'm trying to find a way to make it better. Because a lot of the time, it's not. And I see people use it in ways where it's not. And I need to show that it can be.
Tapis has told me about your police and judges, right? And how they have a lot of rules, and rules for rules,
Yep.
and rules for how they use the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And your litany, the human's litany, is written down not in 7 rules, but on hundreds and hundreds of those pages. We, the Garu, only have 7 of those rules. But it's up to the Philodoxus to interpret those rules. And I've heard that a lot of tribes, septs, Garu interprets rules differently.
Mm.
Some say for the first rule, do not mate another Garu. They say to lay with someone is mating. Someone else says when it's child, it's mating. So many and big differences in how to interpret the situation.
Mm.
But we don't have rules for rules for rules.
No. And it can work. I've seen it work. Humans make rules the way they do a lot of the time. I think because they tend to overcomplicate things for themselves. But also, sometimes the reason they make rules for rules is to try and stop them from being abused to begin with. But they have trouble finding that balance, or just overcomplicating things for the sake of it, and actually doing it for a good reason. And with our 7 rules, we've streamlined it, simplified it to make it easier to follow. But it's it's not as well defined.
I think humans, especially those who live in your cities, are very much influenced by the Weaver and try to make everything the same. We know that each situation is unique and each paradox is unique. And there is no need for many, many complicated rules.
That's a smart way to put it. Didn't think of it like that.
And she shrugs. If something happens where I come from, it's a different situation than something happening here. Someone loses his sword arm in a place where there is no an sept that is not in a state of war, like here. It's less problematic than here, where you can't use your arm. Someone stealing food in a place where there's hunger is more problematic than someone stealing food in a place where it's plentiful. It's not the same. That's why we have paradoxes to judge the situations, and because we realize that everything isn't equal. It can't be, because no place in the world and no person in the world is exactly the same.
Hmm. Part of me is tempted to go off on a tangent about that, but I won't.
Hmm?
You have a way with words when it comes to this sort of thing.
And she shrugs again. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a paradox. I just know what I see and what I've heard.
Well, I think that's why you have a way with it, because you're just honest about it. There's no there's no wordplay with you. You just state what you're thinking.
Yes.
I had a chat with William some time ago, day ago, maybe two, about I took I took a day out because I had been making excuses for not for not saying what I earnestly believed.
Did I lose you again? I had a feeling I did. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up for another interruption. Let's hope it won't last that long.
I'm back. That's good. Um, Jacob continues.
Yay!
Um, I had to do a bit of soul searching for that because I was rationalizing. I was normalizing what I saw around me, which to someone else might be genuinely normal, but
And there he went again. We'll be right back.
there we go. That's better.
Hello.
For fuck's sake, this is technical issues. The bloody
It's
same.
cool. Doesn't matter.
Um, people were acting in ways that were uh, abusive, but not because it was even in line of the litany. Not that I not that I like that at all, but just because they could, and they knew they could get away with it. Because what is dictated by law is not necessarily what is good, and what is not breaking the law is not necessarily good either. And I think that the way sometimes people interpret the law has been in line with its words but violating its spirit to the point where they have almost stolen it. My problem with the litany was that because it was so malleable, it was always in danger of losing its spirit because it was just so easy to talk your way around it. Just get the right philodox to interpret it how you want it to be, and you're fine. Rather than actually seeking the truth and trying to discover the true spirit behind it and how it should be applied today. Because today is not yesterday.
I think the litany is, like I said, it's not something that simply is. It is changing. You are right in that. It's not bad in itself. It's like a knife, I guess, and the Philodoxus can use it to fight. But
Yes.
a knife can be used for killing or for cutting through ropes and freeing someone. And there will always be those who will use the knife in one way, and there will always be those who will use it in another way. That doesn't make the knife bad.
That's fair. Still, they're always safety knives. I think you're right. It is changing. I can. Sometimes I don't know if you kind of notice this or if it's just me. But sometimes it feels like all the pieces are lined up for someone to take the first swing.
First swing at what?
To give that initial push to change things. Where everyone is ready to change, but no one is actually going to do it. Or nobody wants to. Because it's hard.
Sometimes change is bad. Sometimes it's necessary. I mean, every year our surroundings change because at the end of autumn everything dies and then gets reborn again. It's only natural.
True, but that's a cycle.
Yes.
It's a cycle of change, but ultimately it's also how everything is not the same. It's not, but it is still going through the same motion.
And she'll start drawing something in the mud next to the pond, and it kind of looks like not a cycle. It's not just a round that she's drawing, but it's more of a, and I dread to say this word, a spiral. It's more like a trying to find another word for spiral that doesn't sound so offensive for Garu, but I can't. My English
Clear,
sucks.
that's our answer right here.
Yes, thank you.
That one taking us off a chance is even worse than Alicia's got to kill this bitch right now.
See, this is why all metas are in are always evil.
No, just
She, as she's drawing, she's just talking. Look, it is a cycle, but it goes on, and it goes further, and it doesn't return to its original points. When a flower dies, it can leave seeds or spores for something else, something new. And the same type of flower will rise in spring, but it's not the same flower. Maybe it works the same for litany. I don't know. I think people like you and William who aren't born in the nation and who don't know the litany or haven't been taught the litany from the moment they could talk. You look at it differently, and sometimes that is good and sometimes that is bad. And I think for Paradox it's difficult because you have to judge by rules that have been taught to you for not that long. When it comes to knowing the litany, I think I have lived with it longer than you have.
Yeah, that's
Yet,
definitely true.
and like William is very passionate about things he thinks are wrong. I don't necessarily agree with him, but in the end, it doesn't matter for either of us because we can feel things are right or wrong, but we are not the ones that need to know and need to feel and need to judge. That's you.
Yeah, it's
But because you are, your instincts for it are greater than mine or William's. There is a reason you were born with that moon. So I would say trust what you feel and work from there on.
yeah, I'll do that. Like when I came back from my little identity crisis, I came back swearing to myself that I would I would be better because of what I believed, not in spite of it.
Mm-hmm.
It means that I have a lot of opinions that are not necessarily agreeable, but ultimately that's who I feel and who I am. Lying to myself and other people doesn't change that. It doesn't. It's not going to. It's not going to change how the nation views itself.
No.
All I really wanted when William did his thing, which is a while ago now. Now that I think about it, I'm not really looking for some sort of grand ultimatum where everyone makes up and becomes happy friends because that's naive and undermines what we've done to each other, which is in many ways not forgivable. But I do want people to be decent to each other and at least start making the effort. And I see a lot of the time people don't because we're angry creatures and it's easy to lash out at the wrong people. But
It's just easier to lash out in general.
yeah, and it's something very easily misused. But I do know we can do better, because I've seen that as well. And I've seen people striving to do better and do their part and make a difference. And even if they're not, even if people aren't friends or never will be, they still realize they're on the same side, and they still realize they're people. And that's what I gotta show next week.
That we're still people.
Mm-hmm. It's an easy thing to forget.
I guess so.
There's a lot of anger in us, but that doesn't always leave a lot of room for kindness. But I'm hoping we can still find it.
I think it's really depending on the way you interact. If you interact with attack in your heart and in your mind, you will get an attack. But if you have kindness in your heart, then people tend to listen to you faster, I think.
I hope that's true.
I hope so.
Thanks for talking with me about this. It actually gave me an entirely new perspective on it.
I doubt that. But, well, you've been kind, and I hope to be able to return that.
Thank you. I just, you know, I don't really know what to say. It's just, thanks. I just, you know.
No.
No, I don't. I'm just flustered as well.
You help me when I lost track of how I should be and how I should react. The time at Falcon's Shrine.
Oh, pardon? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That time at Falcon's Shrine. Falcon's Shrine. Goddamn, the English is hard. With
Yeah.
You made me realize that what I felt wasn't significant, and that I should not just listen to those feelings, no matter how strong they were and are. And I thank you for that. I realized that I did not have the right to call him out. That meant a lot because I'd forgotten who I was there, and I was giving in to my anger and frustration. In a way, I think you gave me back a part of myself. And if I ever get a chance to repay that, I would gladly do so.
Thank you. You've,
She
you've,
shrugs.
you've done a lot more for me than you realise.
If you say so.
I do say so. I think it. I think you. I think you're a kind person, and I think you're going to go far.
I am what I am, and going far, I don't have any ambition to be more than what I am. I am a metis. I am a theurge, and I hope to one day be able to serve the nation proudly as part of my tribe, doing what I should be doing as a theurge.
I hope I see that day.
And if not, I hope I will die fighting for that. And for Gaia.
I'll make sure it won't go wasted. We give her
Thank
a
you.
hug.
Eep.
Eep.
Okay. I swear I have never felt a willpower roll with her. She stiffens up. She's not expecting this. She
No.
does not know how to react.
Surprise hug.
Yeah,
Ambush.
that's. She's just sitting there very silently, waiting for it to pass.
It pauses.
What was that?
It's a hug.
Oh. Right. Yes, of course. I know. Um, I thought there was something wrong.
I'm sorry if that doesn't make you comfortable. I'll do it again.
No, it's all right. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I mean, it's just a hug, right?
Oh, look, it's a wild truth or guy roll. Did I fail that
Oh,
shit?
look, it failed.
Fuck you. I'm going all peony because I can do these things twice. Because fuck you, Philodox bullshit. Oh hey, I still
That
failed.
should be. No, you didn't, because I only had one success.
Lol. Truth or guy or P. Get those double perception empathy rolls effectively.
Meanie head. Well, yeah, that was a lie. She, well, it's not that she felt uncomfortable. She was expecting something else, and it's made her very cautious, maybe going towards scared.
Oh, makes Jacob a little sad.
Sorry. She, the the water spirit that was still kind of latched onto her leg, sinks back into the pond, and she
Oh,
throws some water to them, to it, and kind of laughs, and it's a nervous laugh, like.
maybe just
But
a handshake first.
it's okay. I know hugs, and they're good, right? Hugs are good.
They are
It almost seems like it's a reminder to herself, like, yeah, hugs are good. Hugs are good.
they are supposed to be good. Yeah. If someone tries to bad hug you, tell me.
No, but bad hug you?
If someone manages to make a hug bad, well, they're pretty bad at hugging.
No, don't worry. I don't think anyone here is trying to bad hug me. Anyway, would you like some water? I've seen this weird blue water that someone gave that tastes very weird. I prefer normal water, but I have a bottle in the Solarian,
Sure.
if you like. Okay.
I wonder. Jacob tries to discern the flavor of blue water.
They called it Gator
Oh god.
Rate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, actually, I see I've never had Gatorade before, so that's it's a sports liquid. It's pretty popular with human athletes and energy drink.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, yeah, no. Honestly, I just prefer juice or squash rather.
I had the feeling my teeth were gonna hurt.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to drink too much of it because it can be bad for your teeth. I mean, for a guru, it probably won't matter, but you know, too
I
much
gave
sugar is
it.
bad for your teeth.
I gave it to someone else.
Hmm. Yeah, it's fine. too much of it is bad for you anyway. It's fine in moderation, like most things. But and as a gyro, I don't even think it would matter for us. But yeah, for normal humans, you don't want to drink too much of it all the time. Tend to get a bit hyperactive, running all over the place. Too much energy is a bad thing. I just prefer squash. It's not as bad for you. It's more natural anyway.
Squash. I don't think I've ever heard of squash before.
So it's, you know what juice is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. It's like and I'll try to see. God damn it! Like all the I know what it is. I just can't define it because I'm bad.
Fair enough. I mean,
Oh, there we go. It's like it's like it's a form of drink made from fruit juice. It's diluted with it's basically you get juice and you basically dilute it with water.
so very sweet juice.
That's it's diluted with water, so it's not as sweet as juice.
Oh, wait, sorry, that was my English dripping. You can actually see because Tatine's second language is English, not at first. So you can actually see her doing the, oh, yeah, right, I goofed, face. She is like, wait, yes, sorry, I did. Yeah, more water is added to it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't drink much Gatorade. It's not very good.
So, yeah, there's water on the other side. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Or if you prefer to sit here, I can just dedicate water and bring it over to here.
That's fine. I'll come with.
Okay. And then I guess we can stop the scene with Latine and Jacob stepping back into the DeLorean for a drink of water and a little more, or should I say, less deep going talks. So thank you, Play, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Sorry for all the bad connection issues.
Sorry.
And we'll see you again. Good night.